Life had moved on after the day that Esau had traded away his birthright to his brother. The Bible says that he despised it. That doesn't mean that he didn't want it, or it just means that he did not give it the proper value. He didn't give it the proper place that it should have had, or the proper recognition that it should have had. And the father is now old, and he thinks that he's on his deathbed. He ends up living quite a long time after this, but we don't know when our day is coming, and he knows that he's not doing well and thinks it could be any time. And while he still has his right mind and all of that, he's able to make his own decisions, he wants to pass on the birthright, that blessing from the father to the son. In this time that they were living in, the oldest son got a double inheritance from what the rest of the sons got. Esau has undoubtedly forgotten about the day when he just traded it away to his brother, or maybe he thought that his brother wouldn't hold him to it, or he just thought that, hey, I'm Dad's favorite son, and he's not going to honor that anyway, and I'm going to get the birthright because I'm Dad's favorite son. In chapter number 27 of Genesis, we see that Isaac announces that he is getting ready to give out the blessing to his sons. Verse number 1, we will pick up that story here in Genesis chapter number 27. The Bible says, "And it came to pass, when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. He said, Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, thy bow. Go out to the field, and take me some venison. Make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die." So Isaac announces he's getting ready to hand out the blessing. He gives his son specific instructions for what he wants him to do, to go get him to go shoot a deer, make him venison just the way that he has always made it before, his dad's favorite meal. And his wife, who doesn't respect her husband very much, overhears this conversation. So she goes and gets her favorite son, Jacob, and connives a plan to steal this blessing from Esau. Verse number 5 now, verse number 5, we see it says, "And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau, his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying," and she recounts all of this, and then she tells him that she has a plan for her favorite son to take this blessing from the brother. Jacob has reservations about this, but not in the way that you would think. It's not that he has a reservation about not lying to his father. It is that he has a very interesting problem. I mean, his name is Deceiver. Apparently he doesn't have a problem lying to his dad, but the issue that he does have is kind of funny. It says here in verse number 11, it says, if I can get over to the right page here, "And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is an hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing." He says, look, my skin is fair and smooth, and Esau is pretty hairy, and Dad's going to definitely know the difference. He's blind at this point. He can't see, but he can feel and he can hear. His mom apparently had already thought this through. She has a plan to solve it. Verse 13, "His mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice and fetch me them." He goes and brings his mother what she needed to cook up the meal, and she takes the skin of the goat. Now, how you make goat meat taste like deer meat is beyond me, but apparently she knows how to get this done. And then she takes the skin of those goats and puts them on him so that he feels like his brother. Now, I don't know how hairy you have to be to have to feel like a goat, but that's pretty hairy. That's pretty wild. And the plan is now ready. And Jacob now walks in to deceive his dying, blind father. Not in his own, but doing exactly what his mom told him to do. This is one messed up family situation. He gets in there and talks to his dad, and his dad can tell that something isn't right. Verse number 18, "And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son?" So he knows something isn't right. And verse number 19, Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. So now he's just outright lied to his dad. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. So he's lied to his dad, and now then his dad is questioning this, knowing that something doesn't sound right. Verse number 20, and Isaac said unto his son, How hast thou found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. Now he's bringing God into his lie. That never goes well. And Isaac still isn't quite convinced. He knows that something, what he can hear, isn't right. But what he feels, when he feels his skin to test him and see, based on what they knew what was going to happen, that he was going to check because of the difference in their how much hair they had. And he feels this goat skin, thinking that it's his son. And when you go by what you feel and not by what you know, that's going to get you in trouble. He knew that it wasn't his son. He knew something wasn't right. His intuition, if you will, was telling him this isn't right. But when he went by what he feels, he gives in to the lie. Whether he fully believes it or not, I really don't think that he did. But he at least begins to go along with it when he operates by what he feels. The Bible says in verse number 21, and Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. So now at this point he feels the skin. It feels like the son that he was planning to give the blessing to Esau. Verse number 26, and his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord had blessed. So he's still, I believe, at this point, the reason why when he pulls him in close that he smells his clothes, he still knows that this isn't right. Now he passes on the blessing to Jacob, and Jacob leaves. Rebekah and Jacob had thought of everything except what they were going to do when Esau came home. Isaac has pronounced the blessing on Jacob. He has given him possessions. The Bible says as soon as Jacob leaves the room, Esau walks in. Verse number 30, the Bible says, It came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. And he also hath made savory meat, and hath brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that my soul may bless me. And the Bible kind of makes it sound like they almost would have had to have passed each other, going in and out. It was that close. And I can picture the shock on Isaac's face. He has no idea what happened years ago when Esau traded that inheritance away for just a bowl of porridge, a bowl of beans. When Esau just traded away his inheritance, he doesn't know that. He, I'm sure, was never told that. Verse number 32, he doesn't know what's going on. The Bible says, And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? He said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. Now, of course, he's going to recognize the voice. Isaac's already blind. He already thinks that he's dying. He's now confused and shocked and horrified at what his own son has now done to him, probably not understanding or knowing that his own wife was even involved in this. Verse number 33, And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. The temporary relief from hunger years before, when he gave away something of incredible value that he didn't care about, has now come back to haunt him. In Numbers 32, verse number 23 says, Be sure your sin will find you out. Isaac's reckoning of that is now, Esau's reckoning of that is now coming to play. Verse number 34, And Esau heard the words of his father. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. You can hear just the desperation in his voice. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Esau begins to beg his father to bless him. Esau begins to beg his father to bless him, and Jacob answers him. Verse number 39, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break off his yoke from thy neck. Esau doesn't own up to the fact that it's his fault. Instead, he gets angry with his brother, threatens to kill him, and all of this toxic situation blows the family apart for nearly 30 years. Esau feels like he had the blessing stolen from him, and that's the way that most people tell this story. And although Jacob did obtain the father's blessing in a deceitful manner, Esau gave it up. He traded it away to his brother because the Bible says that he didn't place on it the value that it was supposed to have had. And the lesson is to never take lightly what God has in your future. Esau was in line to receive. I have to cut this little part out. Esau was in line to receive a substantial inheritance. He was in line to be the father of a new nation of people blessed by God. He was in line to be the head of the family from which Jesus would be born from. I do not believe that I think he did not understand all of that, or he would not have done what he did. But he had no idea what God had in store for him ahead of time, down the road, in the future. So in a moment of weakness, he was easily deceived by the base feelings of now. Because he was convinced there was something now worth more than what he would get later, he traded that away. 1 Peter 5, verse number 8 says, Be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Satan waited until Jesus had eaten for 40 days. Then he tempted him. God has a future for you, and the devil will bide his time. He is very patient, and he understands when you're in a moment of weakness, and that's when he will strike, and he will do his best to convince you that something in the present is of more valuable than a future that is uncertain and that you can't see, but that God has for you, and that will be more valuable later if you do not trade away what you have now for what God has for you in the future.